Welcome to Research Hub. Correlational research 1 is a type of non-experimental research in which researchers measure two or more variables and assess the relationship or correlation between them without any manipulation. The variables in correlational research could be categorical, qualitative, or quantitative, and their behavior is measured in their natural setting. Correlations can be strong or weak and positive or negative. There could also be instances where there is no correlation between the variables. In this video, we provides the correlational research definition, with a detailed description of the importance and purposes of correlational research to help you understand how and when the correlational research design can be used, explained with correlational research examples. So, first, what is correlational research? Correlational research is a type of study design that analyzes the relationship between two or more variables. This type of research helps ascertain whether there is an association between the variables but doesn't determine whether one causes the other. Correlational research studies can have three possible outcomes or relationships between the variables: positive, negative, or no correlation. 1. Positive correlation: an increase, decrease in one variable leads to an increase, decrease in the second variable. 2. Negative correlation: an increase in one variable leads to a decrease in the other variable and vice versa. 3. No correlation: an increase or decrease in one variable does not change the other. Correlational research can be used in many fields, such as economics, psychology, and medicine, to determine if two or more variables are related. Researchers can choose to use correlational research in these situations. 1. To find only the association between variables irrespective of the causality of the relationship. That is, correlational research doesn't ascertain whether a change in one variable causes a change in the other variable. 2. When researchers want to understand the effects of variables in a natural setting wherein the variables cannot be controlled. For example, visiting a hospital to ascertain the relationship between department or specialty type and wait time for patients. 3. When researchers think there could be a causal relationship between variables but it would be impossible, impractical, or unethical to manipulate the variables, such as when studying the effects of a traumatic event on individuals. 4. To generate hypotheses or predictions for further research. In correlational research, since none of the variables are manipulated, how or where they are measured is not important. For example, participants could visit the researcher at a laboratory to complete tasks and the relationship between the variables could be assessed later. Or the researcher could visit a shopping mall to ask people about their attitudes toward the environment and their shopping habits and then assess the relationship. Both these studies would be correlational because the variables aren't manipulated. There are mainly three types of data collection methods in correlational research: naturalistic observation, surveys, and archival research. After data collection, you can analyze the relationship between the variables using either correlation or regression analysis, or both. Scatter plots can be used to visualize the relationship. Correlation analysis is a method to determine if a relationship exists between variables. This relationship can be depicted through a number called the correlation coefficient. The Pearson correlation method, Pearson's coefficient equals R, is commonly used to identify the number depicting the strength and linear correlation between two variables. This method uses a scatter plot and the direction of the line drawn in the graph depicts the correlation. Regression analysis. Regression analysis is used to estimate the relationship between a dependent variable and one or more independent variables. This method can be used to predict the amount of change in one variable that will be associated with a change in another variable. Linear regression is the most common type of regression. Regression analysis is helpful in understanding how different variables influence each other and what the outcomes are. When plotting your data on a graph, you get a regression line, which describes the relationship between the independent and dependent variables. Some of the key characteristics of correlational research. 1. Non-experimental. There is no manipulation of variables. A predefined methodology is used to prove a hypothesis. Correlational research is the measurement of the natural relationship between two variables without interference from other variables. 2. Dynamic. The correlation between variables is not constant and is continually evolving. If two variables have a negative correlation at present, they may develop a positive correlation in the future. 3. Backward-looking. This type of research can look backwards at historical information to observe long-term trends and patterns. However, it cannot be used to make predictions. There are three main types of correlation. 1. Positive and negative correlation. 2. Linear and nonlinear correlation. 3. Simple, multiple, and partial correlation. Don't forget like, share and subscribe my channel.